Hey, it's Sarah, and I want to give you my top tips for when you're administering the CELF. Now, this is the CELF 4, it's in Spanish, and I just want you to know I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the CELF 5 is going to be coming out shortly, so let's hope so. But you get the general idea about the best way to administer this test. So, enjoy. Okay, so first we have the CELF, and I always sit with the student to my left, so I can write with my right hand and flip with my left hand. Here's the protocol for the ages 9 to 21, and I really like how this test is laid out. And I always start out with conceptos y siguiendo direcciones. The very first subtest is the best. Okay, so here we have the protocol, ages 9 to 21. This is the front. You'll put your final scaled scores and calculate the core language and other core measures when you're done. This is where you have the breakdown of all the subtests. These are the core ones from here to Clases de palabras total. Now, these ones down here I typically don't use very much. But anyway, those are the core ones. When you look at the protocol for the ages 5 to 8, there's a test in here that I really like. It's called Estructura de palabras. They don't have it for these older kids, but it's really useful. Great information about grammar and syntax, etc. But anyway, so we start with the conceptos y siguiendo direcciones. And I do love this. It is a total beast because it's actually tough for kids, but you get a ton of information and it's very long. They get tired. I always put it at the beginning because if you have a tired kid already and you start with this test, you're gonna come to the end and they won't be able to perform well. So it's the first one you should do, and I like that. So then we have, recordando oraciones, you need the manual, you do not need the easel. And you have students repeat sentences verbatim. Now, what I have to say about this test is that I don't know if it really measures language skills. I do feel like it measures some memory skills because I have kids that do well on this, just simply repeating sentences, but do poorly on other subtests. And here, I also have them do poorly on this, but then have a good grasp of other language skills. So don't always like this one very much, but it's included in the core language, so I do administer it pretty much all the time. Formulación de oraciones, you use the easel for this. You have a picture and you have the kid come up with a sentence with a word that you give them. It starts out with some basic verbs, basic nouns, basic verbs, and then you keep going. Definitely think this is a good one, and I get a lot of good information with that. Let's see, Clases de palabras is next, if I could turn the page, which that's bothering me. Okay, Clases de palabras. So here you have 4 words, you say them, and for the receptive part, you have them identify which 2 are related. Now this is without any easel. There's no easel for this one. For the 5 to 8-year-olds, there is an easel component, but there's no visual support, so that makes it extra hard. But my kids typically do pretty darn good on the receptive and expressive. That's when I see more of a breakdown. So that would be the end of the core subtests. I do sometimes give vocabulario expresivo. Now this only goes up till age 9, and this is the only subtest that you can actually accept an English answer is correct. The other ones you can't. I like this one. It's pretty good for the younger kids. I wish there was one for the older kids here. And this one you would use the easel. The rest of these that I do not have an easel or any visual support, though that makes them pretty tough. Definiciones de palabras, I don't administer this very much. It is very hard. Enteniendo párrafos is one I also really don't administer that much, but I'm rediscovering is useful. You only have to do 1 page per age, so it's short, gives you a good idea of answering WH questions after reading or listening. Not reading. For this, they listen to you say it. So then that's typically the end of where I typically don't look at any of the other ones, like repetición de números. I don't do that. I think that's more of a memory test. A lot of these at the end are more memory. So then I would transfer all of the raw scores back, let's see if I can get there, to that second part of this part. I'd put them all in here. All the scaled scores would be calculated, get the percentage rank, and then I put the scaled scores here, add them up to get any kind of other measures that you need, like the core language is typically what I report. Hope that helps you out. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed learning about how I administered this test, things I like about it, parts of it that I think are harder than others. So hopefully you'll keep that in mind when you administer it next. Have an awesome day.